Hello and welcome to yet another video on Standard 6th English from the Honeysuckle book. Today we will continue our discussion on Chapter 3 Tarot's Reward. So before we resume the story, let me give you a recap of what we had done earlier. So Taro was a woodcutter who had very old parents, and Taro's father wanted to drink some sake because he was old, and it was a very cold winter, and since sake was very expensive, Taro could not afford to buy sake for his parents. So what he decided was he decided to work hard even more, and he got up early from usual time, and he went to the forest to cut more wood so that he could earn a little extra money and he could buy sake for his aging father. He was a very thoughtful son. So one day when Taro goes to the forest early to cut some extra wood, after cutting a lot of wood, Taro really gets tired and thirsty, and suddenly he hears the sound of a waterfall. So he had never heard the sound of waterfall before, so he went in the direction of that waterfall, and when he reaches that waterfall he tastes that cold water from that waterfall, but to his surprise he finds out that it was sake. So he fills up his bottle, his pitcher, with the sake, and he brings it home, and his father, when he tastes it, he is extremely happy and he dances. And in the afternoon a lady from their neighborhood, she comes to their house, and Taro's father pours her some of the sake, and she is delighted at the taste of the sake. So Taro definitely narrates the entire story to her, and she spreads that story to the entire village. So that is where we had stopped in our first video. Now let us continue the story. That evening there was a long procession of visitors to the woodcutter's house, that is Taro's house. Each man heard the story of the waterfall and took a sip of the sake. In less than an hour, the pitcher was empty. So, after listening to the magic story of that waterfall, all the villagers had come to visit Taro to taste that sake from that magical waterfall. So there was a long procession of visitors, long queue of visitors, long line, you can say. Okay, and they had come to Taro's house, and each of them, they heard the story and they took a sip from the pitcher became empty. Next morning, Taro started for work even earlier than the morning before. He carried with him the largest pitcher he owned, for he intended first of all to go to the waterfall, and when he reached, he found to his great surprise all his neighbors there. They were carrying pitchers, jars, buckets, anything they could find to hold the magic sake. So, next day, what Taro thought was, since all the village people had drank his sake, so he thought that first thing in the morning, before even cutting wood, what he would do, he would go to the magical waterfall and collect as much sake as he could in his big pitcher. But when he reached there, he saw that all the village people who had come to his house the night before, they were all gathered at the waterfall. Okay, and they were carrying big pitchers and buckets and jars so that they could collect the water from that waterfall and take it home. Then one villager knelt and held his mouth under the waterfall to drink. He drank again and again and then shouted angrily, "Water! Nothing but water!" Others also tried. But there was no sake, only cold water. So just see what happened. That waterfall, it did not give out any sake but only cold water to all the villagers, and this made the villagers very very angry. We have been tricked, shouted the villagers. Where is Taro? So, we have been tricked, meaning we have been fooled by Taro. Taro has told us a lie and he has fooled us. So, where is Taro? They all want Taro because they want to punish him. Let us drown him in this waterfall. So, they are very angry with Taro that Taro had lied to them that the waterfall was of sake and not of water. But Taro had been wise enough to slip behind a rock when he saw how things were going. So Taro, he had when he had gone to that waterfall, he had seen that all the villagers had gathered there. So he did not come out in public, but he was intelligent enough to slip behind, to hide behind a rock and see what was going on from a secret hiding place. Okay, so he was nowhere to be found. That is, these people, they could not find Taro where Taro was. Why? Because they wanted Taro to be punished because Taro had lied to them. Okay, they thought so. But when they had tasted the sake at Taro's house, that was the same sake which was collected from this waterfall. So suddenly what happened? Let us find out. Muttering their anger and disappointment, the villagers left the place one by one. So they were very, very disappointed. They were very angry. They could not find any sake and they had to return home empty handed. Okay. Taro came out from his hiding place. Was it true? He wondered. So, was it true? Meaning, was it really true that the waterfall which gave sake to Taro the day before, now it has turned into a normal waterfall giving only water? So, Taro was also confused. Was the sake a dream? Once more, he caught a little liquid in his hand and put it to his lips. So, Taro was also amazed that so many villagers who wanted to drink the sake, who wanted to take that sake home, could not take it. Rather, the waterfall was giving out only cold water. So, did the waterfall change? That is why, to confirm himself once again, what he did, he again took his hands, cup, made it into a cup, and he held it under the waterfall, collected the water, and then he again tasted it. It was the same fine sake. To the thoughtful son, the magic waterfall gave the delicious sake. To everyone else, it gave only cold water. So, why did the waterfall give sake only to Taro and not to the villagers? See, in the beginning of the chapter, we had learnt that Taro was a very thoughtful son. He really cared about his parents. Remember, when his father wanted to drink some sake, Taro was feeling very helpless. Why? Because number one, sake is really expensive. He cannot afford to get sake. So, what did he decide to do? He decided to get up more early in the morning, set out to work before the usual time, cut more and more wood, earn a little extra money, and with that extra money, he wanted to buy he wanted to buy sake for his aging father. So, this feeling of love and caring towards his father was a very, very good quality that a person can have, that a son can have. So, Taro was almost like the ideal son who cared about his parents. Okay, that is why the waterfall was kind enough, for the waterfall understood the nature of Taro, that Taro was really a good human being, and that is why it gave sake to only Taro. Why? Because Taro's intentions were good. Taro had a good intention, he had a good purpose in life, and that purpose was to take care of his parents. So, this was very very important, and Taro got the sake from that magic waterfall, but to everyone else it gave only cold water. Because why? Everyone did not think about giving or working hard for their parents. Okay, they were very selfish. They had all gathered with their pitchers and jars and buckets to fill the sake in their bottles. So that did not help much. So Taro was at an advantage because of his feelings, because of his sentiments towards his parents. The story of Taro and his magic waterfall reached the Emperor of Japan. He sent for the young woodcutter and rewarded him with 20 pieces of gold for having been so good and kind. So Taro was even rewarded by the king of Japan when he heard that Taro had thought and cared so much for his parents. Okay. Then he named the most beautiful fountain in the city after Taro. So Taro's name was also given to the waterfall. This, said the emperor, was to encourage all children to honor and obey their parents. So Taro set an example of how to become a good son to one's parents, so that every child would learn to be like Taro and to get all the values which Taro had in himself: the love for parents, the respect for parents, the care for parents, how to obey parents. Okay, so Taro was a very good son, and that is what the emperor wanted. He also wanted Taro to be an example and teach other children how to be good human beings, good children. That is why he named the fountain in the city after Taro, so that he would be remembered. Now, coming to the moral values that we have learnt in this lesson. So, we should be hardworking and sincere in our work. And number two, we should always care for and respect our parents and other elderly people. So these two are the most important values which we learn through this video, through this lesson. That is, Taro was really hardworking and he was really sincere. He wanted to cut more wood so that he could gain extra money, and from that he would buy sake. And why did he want to buy sake? Because he cared and respected his parents' wish, and that is why he wanted to fulfill those wish. Okay, so with that we come to the end of this lesson. I hope you have understood this, and I will see you in the next video with a new chapter. So till then, study well and thank you.